Congratulations, Dianne, on being Vox Culture's featured artist of the month. We're so excited to be here today to give our community the opportunity to get to know you better.
That's great. It's really exciting. I feel like it's a nice honor to be selected this way for Vox Culture because I really respect what your organization does.
Thank you so much. Well, in your bio, I loved how you said that visual art is a dance between the artist and the viewer. Can you tell us a little bit more about your creative process and the different mediums that you use to go about that?
Yes. I think that when I first started painting, like in any art, it doesn't matter if it's a visual art or a performing art or a literary art, it doesn't really matter, that you have this concept or this idea inside of you, and maybe it's the idea is to express this most beautiful thing you see, and you're a representational painter, or you draw, and you really want to capture the beauty of this creature on the canvas because you want that beauty to go into someone else's heart, and your capacity to be very realistic and to just capture that regalness is your gift to that canvas. When somebody else sees that, they might be drawn into that very realistic thing, or they might allow their own imagination to take flight having this beautiful creature. And they might not look at it as beautiful. They might see that this eagle that you drew is something that's about to jump on something and eat it. You know, they might have a whole different story. And I said, my work is conceptual for the most part because I really am fascinated by the ideas that pop into my head and creating images on canvas that allow people to access those images or access their own story through those images. And so when a viewer looks at my work, they might think, I don't know what that is. And they'll say, what is that? And I'll say, well, what do you see? And they'll start telling me something that maybe has nothing to do with what I was thinking when I was painting it, but the story is so fantastic or so wonderful, or it tells you something about them right now. They might look at a picture and say, you know, that just seems so sad to me. And when I was painting it, I didn't feel sadness. But what's happening to them right now is sadness. And this painting allows them to go into that emotion. And to me, that's really exciting. And so I believe that for art to be successful, the artist in whatever venue needs to get that story out. But my control over that story stops when the painting is finished. And that when the viewer comes, that the other side of the dance begins. And I don't get to be the boss of that dance. I have to let go because everybody who views that is coming with a different story. And I think that, and I don't care if it's a poem, you know, that question we were all asked, what does the story mean?
Right.
What is this painting about? Those aren't meaningful questions to me.
Well, you're someone of many gifts and talents, from painting to performance to teaching to poetry. Can you tell us why you love all those different types of expressions?
I love them because I like media. I think that I love words and words and media. Words are like paint. Words are powerful. They're swords. They're stronger than the sword. They articulate, but they only articulate to a certain aspect of our brain. Movement articulates to a different aspect of our brain, and our understanding and our body memory and our meaning making. And paint, to me, I think painting is the most fun media. What you can do with it, how you play with texture and depth, how you create illusion with it, how you... I love the movement of it. I love the action of painting. I love the action of working with that media. And obviously in theater, the body and all of that comes together with words and visual images and all of that. So the stage has its own pull for all of that. But for me, you know, I really like oil painting. I also like ink, and I love to work in ink because it's very fluid. You can't control it at all. In painting, you know, if you're using a brush, you have a lot of control. If you're using a palette knife, you have a whole different kind of control. If you're, you know, what you do with oil paint, it kind of requires you to do something with it. Whereas ink, you just sort of drop it and then it goes. And going between those two media for me in the art studio really helps me figure out how to work with the flow of the ink and how to let flow move into the paint. So it's an interesting process.
Wonderful. Can you tell us some more about your performance and the different plays that you do?
Well, mostly I'm a director, and historically that's what I am. I did get to work with Shunya Theater as an actor, which was very interesting because I don't usually do that. But I like to direct, and I've directed interactive theater for years when I lived in Maine. And that was a lot on concept and issues, and bringing that where all of the work was original and characters, the actors would stay in character. At some point of conflict, the action of the piece would stop, and then the characters would have a chance to interact with the audience, staying in character. So if you were somebody who had, say we were doing something, we did it all on issues, on life issues. And so say we were doing something on bullying, and at one point when the bully is about to lay off and hit somebody, the action would stop at that point. The actors would stay in character, and then they would bring that character to the questions that the audience had. So someone might say, "Why are you so mean?" And that actor would have to stay in character and answer that question. Right. So we did a lot of work on character, which to me is what is the biggest media of the stage, is that the character is what you have to work with. So.
And I think that's the beauty of partnering with you for Vox and combining creativity and creativity and different issues. We've had the honor of working with you for the past year and a half, and it's been wonderful. Can you share with us how you originally got involved with Vox and what drew you to the organization?
Well, it's really interesting. It's kind of like a Cinderella story. That's what I feel like about Vox. Vox is my Cinderella story. Because I had moved down to Houston. I had only been painting a short time in Maine, and I came down to Houston, and I was here for a while working on my master's in fine arts, and actually out of Cambridge, so I was going back and forth. And I had been painting as part of that, as well as writing for that degree. And then my in-laws were sick, and I sort of stopped painting to take care of them at the end of their life. And then my granddaughter was born, and I went away, and I was not painting and feeling really torn and feeling like, do I just give this up and focus on writing? Can I really do both? I feel so disconnected. And I got an email from Michelle saying, "Hi, I just saw your artwork online, and I'm with Vox Culture, and we're doing this amazing show on Water for Life. Would you be interested in hanging some of your work?" I was dumbfounded. Like, who finds a website? How does that even happen? And I looked up Vox, and I was really impressed with the way that Vox has an underlying ethic, and that within the construct of that ethic, they reach out to world issues and life issues, and that's who I've been my whole life. And I was really looking for that kind of activism in Houston. I hadn't really found that here, and activism is kind of quiet here, and you have to find the pockets. And so I was very excited to find that pocket with Vox, and Water for Life was an amazing show. So it was really, really fun, and I've been painting ever since, and I have done so many shows in the last year and a half, and done so much more artwork, and actually 6 weeks after that show, I got the studio.
That is wonderful.
Totally lucked into it, so.
What a great story.
Yeah, it is a great story. Thank you, Vox.
Well, as I've been getting to know you, I know your heart runs so deep for so many different causes. What is one cause that is near to your heart and that you're passionate about, and how does that inspire you in your works?
That's a really good question, because I can't choose between causes, but there's an underlying ethic, there's an underlying belief that I have that isn't found in religion, in any organized religion. But I think it's the thing that does this, and it's so interesting that today in the United States, a book written by a man who was in the French resistance to the Nazi Holocaust, and he's quite old, but his book is being released in the United States today, and I can't recall the name of it. I just ordered it from Amazon because I was listening to this on NPR this morning. And he talked about, he used my words. It's so fascinating. It's about being human. And I don't want us, I guess I truly believe that human beings are beautiful creatures. And I do believe that the universe is a beautiful place. And that if we honor ourselves and everyone the way that we honor ourselves, then we create a world that is in that. And it's not a utopian idea. It's that idea that we're reduced to this most common thing. And I believe that we're born people and we become human. And that's my goal, is to become human. And I believe that art, and my artwork in particular, is my vehicle, like raising my children, and that the things that we do in life need to be artful, whether it's traditional art or it's just the way that we live and how we find kindness for ourselves and others.
That is so beautiful.
Well, and now you know the truth of me, that if there's a chance to cry, I will. Thank you.
Well, just do you have any parting words for our audience? Anything that you would like our audience to know about you?
I think that that find your art, whatever it is. I don't care if it's computers or sweeping floors or washing dishes or painting buildings or making programs or being an architect or a teacher or raising your children or finding love in whoever it is that you might love in the world. Find your art and live artfully.
Well, thank you so much, Dianne. It's been an honor to be in partnership with you these past couple of years, and we look forward to supporting you in your future endeavors. So
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.